Hi Smart Investors, I'm here with Mariana Schiavon to talk about her explosive growth in the Instagram world and how she's managed to gain so many followers so quickly. Now, she gives away finance tips to thousands of people every day and helps them kind of take control of their income. So let's ask her how this all happened. Mariana.
It was not quickly, but I decided to share my knowledge about financial thing. I consider myself a financial educator, and I just started from scratch. I didn't want to use my personal account, so I created a new one. I was like, oh, if people are interested or if they like me, they should follow me. And then I started posting like daily content, sometimes twice a day. I really started like twice a day. And then people were just sharing my posts saying, oh, this is my friend. If you want to learn about investment or how to organize yourself or about mindset, just follow her. And then I started getting like 1,000 followers and then 2,000 eventually. But then, of course, I used paid traffic to help me because then I started doing mentoring sessions, consultations. Then I started thinking ahead, maybe I should do an online course. And then I started to see like a business and not just for fun, still a side hustle, but yeah, but still I look and I see it as a business, a small one, but it's still a business.
Only currently though.
Yeah.
Now, there's always been a little bit of rivalry between New South Wales and Queensland.
Yes.
Apparently, New South Wales doesn't like losing in the state of origin every year to Queensland. So you started your Australian adventure in Brisbane, right?
Actually, in Sydney.
You started in Sydney?
Yes, I did.
And then you came to Brisbane?
Yes.
And then back to Sydney?
Yes.
Okay. Now, between you and me,
yeah,
which do you prefer?
I love Queensland. I'm a Queenslander.
But work has led you to Sydney. Is that the only reason,
yeah,
or
that's
the love? Or?
Only reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only reason. Okay. What are some of the things that you love about Queensland?
Well, the weather is the first one, I think.
Yep.
And the way people live. I think they're more like laid back and they're more kind. I don't know. It's not that busy. I think sometimes here you take 20 minutes to drive 2 kilometers and it's not the best.
I can relate to that. For you at the moment, Instagram is just a side hustle. What's your current role on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, I'm a management consultant, but right now I'm working for a startup and I am their strategy and operations manager. So I actually help business to grow and to be better.
Excellent. Now, we had a bit of a chat before and you mentioned that you guys are helping people take control of their investment properties instead of giving that money away. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
So I work at RentBetter. If you have an investment property, you should look at it. We help self-manage landlords to take control over their properties. So it's not like a normal agent. We don't charge 5% of the rental or 10% of the rental sometimes.
Yep.
We actually empower the landlords to advertise their properties, to collect rent, to do the lease agreements and condition report in an easy way, because sometimes it gives headaches and
Absolutely.
it can be like a complicated process. So we help them. We empower the landlords in Australia.
That's fantastic. What tips would you give to anyone that's looking to start out on Instagram and gain a community, I guess?
Oh, it was really hard for me in the beginning because I'm an introverted person.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we know things and we don't share, and I think this is bad. Some people are too shy, but actually, what's the point? If you have something to share and if one person learns from you, it's already good. So I think I changed my mindset and I started on Instagram, and it was like, it's not about me, it's about the other people. I'm just trying to help someone. And then with this mindset, I never stopped. So if you want to help someone, I think you just start. Forget about all your, if you're scared, because you're always going to be scared. Like, you will not change, but you need to overcome and do what you need to do, I guess.
Agreed. I have a background in graphic design, and I noticed that on your Instagram posts, you actually put in a lot of effort into the posts that you put up with your quotes and tips. So that's doesn't go unnoticed, put it that way. Yeah, it makes it look fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm not a designer person, and
Well-
I struggle to do that.
Well, I know how long it takes, and it looks, just picking colours. People don't really realise, it might look like 2 blocks of colours and some text, but so much effort goes into choosing those exact colours, the font, the sizing. How would you suggest that people start out their financial structuring for their journey of their life?
Good question. So, as a financial educator, I normally tell people when they come to me for financial advice, I guess, that I'm going to help them to build a house, and it's going to be a strong one. Some people come to me asking tips about investing. How can I get more with
Everyone
the money
wants
that I
more
have?
money, right?
Of course, they do. But actually, we need, if we're building a house, you need to start with the base. And then the structure of the house, and then you put a roof, and then you start the painting and this kind of stuff. So I actually say that the base is your mindset. You need to have the right mindset to invest. And sometimes you think money is bad. If you have much money, you won't be a good person. So we need to remove these kind of beliefs. And then we start the structure, and actually, as a construction, it's a daily basis thing. It's organizing your finance and planning ahead. So this is day by day. Of course, we have a lot of techniques, strategies that can help you with that. Even sorting out your account. Should I have more than one account, and everything related to it? And then when it's ready, you put the roof. The roof is the protection, and it's actually the emergency fund. And then you start painting the house, put things on the walls, and this is the investing part. But you cannot start investing if you don't have a house. Or sometimes, the rain comes and your house can be destroyed. So you need to have a strong house. So I really believe in this fundamental stuff, that with a good mindset, being organized, planning ahead, having the emergency fund, then you're ready to really invest your money.
That's an excellent analogy of how you should probably structure it. I completely agree. What are some of the most common financial mistakes you see people making, and how could they avoid them?
Well, I teach mostly Brazilian people that live in Brazil, and I think we don't have a culture of investing.
Okay.
In Brazil, less than 3% of the population are in the share market, so it's a really low percentage. So they don't invest at all. I think that's the biggest mistake. They expect that when they retire, they will have money to live in, but it's not true. Our system is not the best, and if you don't start investing right now, you probably will struggle in the future. So I think the common mistake is they don't think about the future. They live for today, but we don't expect to die tomorrow, so we should be thinking long term and should be investing.
Do you have any frugal habits that your friends and family kind of cringe at or make you feel bad about?
Well, sometimes, I have this habit of every time that I buy something, I write on my notes on my phone every time. It's just, I work with analytics. I need data to analyze and to understand the company and make them bigger. So I think I bring this to my life, and I need to have everything because I like to do analysis and understand my behavior, or this month and last month, how much did I spend on clothes. So when people see me and they ask me what I'm doing, and I say, oh, I'm just taking notes because I spent on a coffee, they're like, you're crazy, why are you doing that? And I'm like, why aren't you doing that? So I don't know if you do this, but I'm kind of doing a daily basis.
My wife and I will do a budget at the end of the month, and we'll go through the credit card statement. And of course, the credit card statement, they never write the actual name of the business. It's always like the proprietor or whatever they've registered the business under. And you're like, oh gosh, what was that? Where did that $10 come from? What business was that? And it could have been like the local grocer. You just can't remember. And because credit cards every 55 days, you've got to remember 2 months back. It's a mission.
That's what I do
Yeah.
on my notes every day.
Lock it in. That's great. What advice would you give to someone that's struggling with debt, and how would you suggest that they start to plan to get out of it?
Okay, so I deal with a lot of people and they have debt. No, I don't know how to say that.
Debt. It's hard. Debt. It's almost don't pronounce the B. It's just D-E-T. Debt.
Debt, okay.
Yeah.
So I actually have many clients with debt, And what I say to them is like, you didn't do this in 2 days, so don't expect that we are going to pay everything in a month or two. So it's actually like a mindset thing. You need to focus on the final objective, and you need to do little things every day, kind of. And I think a common mistake, people think they need to start paying based on the like the largest interest rate, the biggest one. But actually it's not true. At least in Brazil it's not true, because the highest interest rate is with credit cards. But if you are paying your house or your car, you cannot stop paying that, even if it's a low interest rate, because otherwise you're going to lose your property or you're going to lose your car. So these credit cards, sometimes we leave these for the end, and sometimes I actually recommend them to stop paying till they have the full amount, because the banks are not going to do anything. If it's like 1,000, 2,000 reais, or they won't bother. They will just wait, and then when you have this amount to pay, you can negotiate without the interest rate. So I don't know how it works in Australia, but actually in Brazil it works really well if you do like this way.
Yes, you can definitely negotiate your debt to pay it off in different ways, and if you've got a lot of it, you can negotiate to pay a portion of it just to rid it. But it depends on your debt situation.
Yeah, exactly. Each case is a different one.
Exactly. The question that I ask everyone is, how would you diversify $10,000?
Well, it also depends, because I need to ask for each person how is their situation. Because first thing is, do you have an emergency fund? If you don't have one, you need to invest for the emergency fund. Of course, you can do other stuff, but I would suggest if you don't have one, at least use half of it for your emergency fund and half for other stuff. But then, I don't know you, so what are your plans? Are you going to marry? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to retire sooner? So probably I would say 50 for short term, 25 medium term, and 25 long term. For me, the best option, if you're thinking long term, is to buy stocks.
Okay. And how much of that would you allocate to stocks?
The 25%.
The 25%.
Because if it's short term or medium term, I would not go for stocks.
Okay.
At least in Brazil, we have different options. I know in Australia it's a bit different, but in Brazil, we still have good like fixed interest investment.
Okay. What would the rate be? Do you know?
Probably like the inflation plus like 4%, something like that.
Okay, that's quite high. Much better than Australia's. I think it's like 1% now that they give you in term deposit. In term deposit and in just high interest bank account.
For me, it's really different to talk about investing in Australia and investing in Brazil. So I always need to take care of, am I speaking with someone who lives in Brazil or who lives in Australia? Because the economic situation of each country is totally different, and the options available are also different. Everything, the tax, the retirement plan, everything is really, really different.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that leads me into my next question. Could you explain a little bit of the economical situation of Brazil at the moment?
So we are in the middle of a pandemic situation. We have a lot of political things happening in there as well. So our inflation is increasing. So it's like I think it's a tough moment, but also is the best moment for you to take care of your money.
Mari, thank you so much for an insightful interview. If you guys are interested in seeing more of what Mari's doing, you can follow her on Instagram. I will leave the link in the description. If you have enjoyed watching this interview, please click the like, and if you want to see what's coming up in my next videos, make sure you hit subscribe and click the little bell as well. For all those Portuguese speaking viewers that are watching at the moment, all my future videos will have Portuguese subtitles, so feel free to stick around on the channel. Thank you so much, guys. Say goodbye to Mari. I'm sure you'll see a lot more of her in the future as well. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one.